Donald Trump has absolutely had enough of this war between Russia and Ukraine. Also, some big news coming out of Japan, big tariff win, and the humiliation of MSNBC as they've renamed themselves to MS Now, which is getting ruthlessly mocked online with hilarious monikers like PMS Now and much more. My name is Jeremy. This is The Quartering. I'm going to fill in with a couple of hard news topics today because Tim is sick. So I hope that you appreciate it. Obviously, I have all my standard coverage as well today. But let's talk about Zelensky in Washington, D.C. right now. So first and foremost, Volodymyr Zelensky has shown up yet again in a t-shirt. In fact, he was less dressed up today than he was yesterday for various photo ops that he had posed for in the United States media as well. A bunch of Europeans are rushing to the United States to make sure he doesn't capitulate. Look, I'm sorry. I know Europe is paying for something like 6% of this stupid proxy war. And if you're a European, you probably agree with me that that's 6% too much. But the United States is paying for the overwhelming majority of this stupid proxy war that Joe Biden started with Russia. That's all it ever was. That's all it's ever going to be. And unless the American taxpayer continues to pay for it, this war should have been over years ago. All right. Putin wants Donbass or whatever. Ukraine's going to have to give it up. Don't like it. You might not like it. You might not agree with it, but that's the reality. Putin seems pretty heck bent on this. And last night, Donald Trump put out this. He absolutely erupted. He's done. I've settled 6 wars in 6 months. One of them has been a possible nuclear disaster. And yet I have to read and listen to the Wall Street Journal and many others who truly don't have a clue tell me everything that I'm doing wrong on the Russia-Ukraine mess. That is Sleepy Joe Biden's war, not mine. I'm only here to stop it, not to prosecute it any further. It would never have happened if I was president. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need the advice of people who have been working on all of these conflicts for years, and we're never able to stop them. They are stupid people with no common sense, intelligence, or understanding, and they only make the current Russia-Ukraine disaster more difficult to fix. Despite all of my lightweight and very jealous critics, I'll get it done. I always do. Donald Trump's had enough. You know, here's the thing. Obviously, he's been involved in many wars that, getting the negotiating things before they get out of control. Obviously, people may be pointing to Israel, Iran as a questionable one. But there's also been, I believe, the one in the Congo. They had India, Pakistan. They have, he's had many other things that he's kind of negotiated things not, before they got out of control. He also sent this warning to Zelensky late last night ahead of the meeting today. President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back the Obama-given Crimea from 12 years ago without a shot being fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. He has refused NATO. Ukraine has tried to. I almost get the feeling like somebody offered him NATO access if he started this war, if he prolonged this war, participated in this war. I have no evidence of that, but that's what I feel like, because I don't know why he would think he has any right at all to be in NATO. By the way, again, the White House specifically asked Zelensky to wear a suit. He showed up wearing a t-shirt.
How are you, sir?
Thanks so much. Good to see you. How are you, sir?
Oh,
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much. Hi, good to see you.
great.
How are you?
Now, many people, it's hard for me to disagree with them, believe that this is outwardly, blatantly disrespectful at this point. And I agree with them. However, leave a like on the video if you agree with me at this point. I don't care what this guy's wearing. Get it done today. Get it done today. We have no business being there. We certainly have no business funding it as we have been. And I don't want any part of it. I want this thing done today, yesterday, if possible. No NATO. And here's the harsh, cold reality. This is why I don't understand why we allow, there must be some scummy stuff going on behind the scenes that I just don't understand. If we stop giving Ukraine military aid, the war ends tomorrow. What are they going to do? Right? No Predator drones from the United States, no Starlink guidance systems, no intel from the United States, none of that, none of our drones. If we had never gotten involved in the first place, this war would have been over in 6 months. And tens of thousands of lives, hundreds of thousands of lives potentially, it's difficult to know how many people have perished in this war, would have been saved. But no, we had to get involved because Russia bad. I don't care about Russia. I care about Russia less than I care about Ukraine. Okay? Russia is going to get what they want in this. They're pot committed, to use a gambling term. Zelensky has signaled that he also kind of wants this to be over with. And I think the whole world wants this to be over with. But here's the thing. You know, European leaders are joining Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House. Why? Because they don't want him to capitulate. Are they paying for it? Now, as a percentage, I know Europe is giving some money, but it is a drop in the bucket compared to what the United States is giving. And I admit, the United States is probably the one that started this. Joe Biden's administration, while he was asleep at the wheel. No one was expecting this. European leaders rushed to the United States to help Ukraine avoid capitulation. Well, whatever European leaders show up and tell him to not capitulate, they can fund the war. I hope whoever it is has a lot of money and a lot of weapons. I hope France has a lot of Predator drones to give Volodymyr Zelensky, right? I hope he's President Macron, who allegedly married a man of France, was the latest to use the C word on Sunday. There's only one state proposing a peace that would be a capitulation, and that's Russia. I mean, okay, France. How about, the French leader was enjoying water sports in the Riviera. The Italian leader Giorgia Meloni, had been in Greece. Well, I sure hope that Greece, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how their economy's doing. I know they went through a rough patch. I love my Greek viewers. I love whatever French viewers I have, but your leaders are dumb. And I have a feeling if you watch me, you also agree you don't want to be funding this war. You know, I'm pretty sure that Putin said, hey, we're not ending this until we get Donbass or whatever, we get our crap back that they believe is theirs. You see, I'll get it done. Trump insists as European leaders arrive at the White House to keep this war going. That's why they're there, right? Why else would they be there? They're there to keep this war going. I mean, they're not paying for it, so why wouldn't they? Every one of these people can cover the gap then. The United States, we're done. We're done paying for it. Now, breaking over to a small, additional piece, Japan has agreed to a $550 billion investment package under a new U.S. tariff deal, focusing on strengthening strategic industries such as semiconductor manufacturing and shipbuilding across multiple countries. Based? Yet another tariff win. And by the way, if we just look at the NASDAQ, over the past 6 months, anybody that knows what's going on with, the investors seem to think that all these tariffs ended up being good. Today I think it's down a little bit, marginally, 0.22%. Over the last 6 months, it's at 8%. If you had invested in early April this year, you'd be basically printing money. Things are going good. Now, on to the MSNBC. MSNBC is changing its name to MS Now, short for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. Next, we ran to MS Next. My subscription needs extra taxes. I mean, it is actually the end of MSNBC quite, effectively. I thought I had PMS Now. Yeah, that's what's trending. PMS Now. MSNBC, let's do this. PMS Now. I love this. The White House issued a response to MSNBC rebrand. Axios breaking MSNBC to rebrand as MS Now. Oh, this is Stephen Chung of the White House. My Source Opinion News. PMS Now. Basically everything about this, they're mocking PMS News. We're angry about everything all the time. Again, because they can't be called MSNBC anymore because they aren't owned. They're owned by whatever, Skydance or whatever. MSNBC, let's go this. Fake News is now rebranding themselves of MS Now. Here's a new logo. I mean, it looks terrible. No one hears MS and doesn't think multiple sclerosis. BS Now. DNC Now. MS Now. MS Now marks the socialist news. MSDNC. I mean, literally everybody is dunking on this. And, MSNBC is probably going to go by the wayside. There'll be a small movement in viewership to whatever, CNN, and that'll be the end of it for them. I'm absolutely here for it. I'll keep you updated as we get more updates. Most leaders as of the recording of this video, have now arrived as Macron makes his way to the White House. Meanwhile, there's air raid sirens going on in Kiev. Zelensky says his main goal is reliable and lasting peace for Ukraine and Europe. You notice how he's including Europe there, right? So he's like, well, after they took over Ukraine, then he's going to come into Europe. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted on this channel as we'll be live on Quartering Live. If you search for that on YouTube or on the Quartering on Rumble, we'll be live from 2 Eastern to 4 Eastern. So we're likely to have some updates during the live show as well. I'll leave that linked in the pinned comment down below. If you haven't yet, please do follow that channel, and we'll talk to you again real soon.